Hey, everybody. We're back at Larry's place. Happy Halloween.
Our guest tonight is...
No. So my costume, I decided to be the scariest thing I could ever think of. And so the scariest thing I could think of was Milo Yiannopoulos. And
That's
so,
pretty frightening.
It is pretty frightening. I haven't heard from him in like 4 years.
It's pretty accurate. What is he doing now? I think he declared bankruptcy, right?
Did he? Did he spend all of that cash? Could you believe it? Like, what did he spend it on? Like
lawsuits,
like his clothes, or?
Yeah, I think he didn't. I think it was all smoke and mirrors anyway.
You know, like after he stopped being outrageous and just funny, then he lost everything. It's kind of funny. Like, I hope he comes back. Like
the thing that
as like a Yakov Smirnoff, right? Like he's a funny conservative.
Or maybe just like as a stockbroker or something, a librarian. And it's funny, the thing that was on his undoing is the only thing I ever agreed with him for. A joke about child molestation is the first time he was ever funny.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah,
I didn't think any of his other... did the lights just flash, or am I having a stroke?
No, it's Halloween. That was actually a poltergeist.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, and yes, you are having a stroke. And
Both of
so
those
everything
things
is
are
true. Yes, at the same time. Yes. Maybe there was a nuclear bomb that went off of San Diego.
That's right.
God, hope.
But we won't know about it for a little while.
Anyway, let me put my normal clothes on.
For the,
or
you could also. That's what becomes a legend most.
No.
Jacket.
So I'm going to. Where's my glasses at? Yeah, I'm going to wear my regular clothes.
Your regular clothes are just as ridiculous, by the way.
Well, no, my regular clothes, where I look like I'm one of Jim Jones's cult members, down in Guyana. So
it does look like.
And so how have you been recently?
I have. Do we have a sponsor?
No. I said I was one of Jim Jones's cult members down in Guyana.
Oh, Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We'd like to have some.
What is this? This is like sugar and water, right?
And a special ingredients, as long as you.
Favorite thing.
You might just drop dead.
Wasn't it just? Didn't Kool-Aid really just take the rap for this when in fact it was Flavor Aid?
It wasn't actually a Kool-Aid brand.
Kool-Aid took the hit on it.
But yeah, I did spend $1.50 in order to get this joke out.
It was the low price thing. I've never.
Oh yeah.
Right now we're gonna bust through a wall.
and when I was a kid, like it's just as hard as it used to be. Did you have these when you were a kid?
We didn't have the aluminum foil ones. We had Kool-Aid.
Well, when I was a kid, like people punch it in the bottom, and let's see if it tastes the same. Yeah, it's the same taste.
Is this the sugared kind, or you got the?
It's the sugar kind. I haven't had this since I was.
I
haven't had this since I was in high school. I don't think. Like.
Oh yes, now I remember this.
Yeah.
And it's probably been that long for me. I don't even think high school. I think elementary school was the last time I had.
Last time was my mom made a bag lunch for me. But it still hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed, and even with sugar, it still tastes like crap.
Yeah, but if you think about it. 10 pouches at $1.50, that's really cheap.
Oh, that is cheap. 15 cents each?
Yeah.
That's it. Did you pack these with your lunch? Is that what it was?
My mother did.
Because in my elementary school years, even if you brought your lunch, you'd get a container of milk.
No, that didn't happen with me. There wasn't a lunch program at most of the schools that I went to.
Oh, you went to Catholic school.
You went to public schools.
I went to public school.
I went to private schools. Yeah.
In New York, public schools at the time, maybe now, I don't know, I haven't been in one. I'm not allowed by court order, but I haven't been in one since I left. That was it. And I kept the cap and gown, and I'm gone. All of New York public schools had a subsidized lunch. So the lunch was literally like 50 cents.
Okay.
And the milk was 10 cents or something. So there wasn't. What do they have it now? Where some kids get paid for the lunch or something?
I have no idea.
It must be really embarrassing for those kids. But everyone paid 50 cents, or you brought your own lunch, and paid 10 cents for milk. I don't remember any containers of any aluminum foil, any environmentally hostile packaging like this at all. It
hasn't changed. It's really been the same for 30 years. and it's by Kraft. I didn't know that.
Well, they may not have always owned it.
Oh, who knows? The pouch shape is a licensed trademark of the Capri Sun Group.
Oh, that's right. Capri Sun. That one I remember. That I had a little longer.
Right.
Oh, this is they call this the trademark? It's not patented, it's trademarked.
I guess.
The aluminum foil
Well,
packet.
with trademarks, you can hold on to indefinitely.
Yeah, but that's funny because
Patents you have to give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. So I haven't been. September 2021. What would this thing going bad taste like?
Probably a little better. This is sugar, right? This isn't sugar free? Because it's still got an aftertaste.
I think the main ingredient.
Nevertheless, it's got a shitty aftertaste.
Ingredients: high fructose corn syrup, sucrose,
There it is.
sugar, saccharose, xylitol, and water. In that order.
And then nothing else, right? Is
Yeah,
there nothing else?
No. The real one is filtered water, high fructose corn syrup, and then that's
Filtered
it.
water.
That's
and
it,
everything
that's
else
it.
is poison.
Yeah.
It's the sucrose that has the
there
aftertaste.
is sucralose in there. It's real.
That's the aftertaste. So it's got both sugar and fake sugar?
But here's my question.
Every kind of poison they can serve a child.
They have blue 1 in here for some reason.
Well, I don't know what color it is. We didn't see
You can't even see it.
What flavor is this? I guess or is
Does
each
it
one
even matter? I mean, it's available in a rainbow of flavors. Like, they're not even
what is
trying.
this one? It doesn't even say.
They advertise it as tropical punch.
Tropical punch.
Which means that they don't have to be specific about anything.
You know what the flavor?
You want the entire box?
These remind me of like, I know you probably don't use jarred pasta sauce or something.
Oh yeah.
And they all come in different flavors that taste the same. You can get the garlic and basil or the fresh vegetable
I think we
or
tried
the
this
meat
once.
flavor. Yeah, and you can't tell the difference.
No.
Very much, and I'm sure cat food and dog food exactly the same. Like dog food comes in beef or liver. You think the dog cares? You think that they eat garbage? And I think that's what this is. I think this flavor is tropical punch, but if it said cherry, you wouldn't have thought twice that we just had cherry.
But this is the same thing as dog
it said
food,
grape,
and I'll tell you why. It's because with dog food,
They're
I
little
buy
healthier,
it
dog
and
food.
I don't eat it.
Yeah, right.
The person who buys this is the parent who never
Doesn't know what it tastes
I'll
like.
just have one for myself.
Oh, there was a scandal like that with apple juice about 20 years ago. Remember that? It turned out that the kids' apple juice in the little jars was just water and sugar and coloring. And they'd been selling it for 20 years in little kids' jars, and parents didn't know. And maybe it tasted a little like apple juice. I wonder if then kids bit apples and said, doesn't taste anything like the juice. But it was just sugar water. Kids' apple juice in the little one-serving jars with the kids' logos on it was just sugar.
Well, I've just found out last week
If I said this was pineapple flavored, would you go, oh, it doesn't taste like pineapple? You'd say, all right, fine.
Sure.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they call it tropical punch.
I can sort of
but it doesn't matter what flavor you buy.
put anything on. Yeah, I just found that dog food doesn't contain any dogs.
What color
terrible.
it is. If it was blue, we haven't seen it. We drank it without seeing what color it is.
Yeah, and
if it was blue or it was red or it was green.
Not only that, but here's the other part, is that like, I was like, well, maybe if somebody could see the little straw, but when I put it up to my mouth,
Yeah.
I can no longer see it.
Yeah.
And so by the time I drink it,
What?
and I look at it again, the liquid's gone.
Why? I wonder if it really is that
Well,
color,
let's
or
try
they're just a scam.
Hold on.
I'll get a glass.
You'll get the glass. Yeah, we're mic'd up this time, so let's go do that. But be careful.
I'll get a glass and we'll run a series of tests.
Because who's ever done that? Who's ever put these things inside its own cup?
The only reason they would do that.
You drank yours so much faster than I did. Have you been feeding yourself? Like,
What? There's so much what?
you drank yours so much faster than I did.
The only reason they would put color on it is because when the kid spills it all over his shirt,
Then it looks like
it should
Clorox.
have some kind of color. Oh, it's blue. I didn't
It
expect
looks like
that.
Windex.
I thought it was going to be red.
Like, I think I cleaned my window with this before.
I thought that was going to be red. This is a surprise. Blue.
Well, it said blue on there. Didn't I say that?
Yeah, I know, but they sometimes say yellow and orange and then they whatever. I thought tropical fruit is usually, tropical punch is usually a red drink, right?
Yeah, well, I guess so, but maybe it's blue because it's reminiscent of the ocean. Like
I don't know. Maybe blue is the cheapest color.
Why do they color it at all? Maybe blue is some kind of industrial waste.
No, I'm sure it's so because if it was clear and it's spilled and kids get it all over themselves, parents would think they're not getting their money's worth. If it was clear, hey, wait a second, is that just sugar water? But if it's a color, there might be some fruit in it. But I don't know what fruit is blue.
No, this thing? I mean, look, seriously, it looks like a cleaning fluid.
It does. Wait a second. Let me get some Windex and we'll compare.
Yeah. This looks like something that you'd put inside of your car.
Oh, right. Antifreeze.
You keep your Windex in a bathroom?
I keep the cleaning supplies in there. It's a perfect match.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty.
I wonder if it tastes better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the Windex tastes better.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you want to go try to clean some windows with this?
Oh, wait a second. Let me get a rag. And let's see if we can clean the glass table.
Okay, let's do it. We're cleaning the glass with Kool-Aid. See if this works.
Here we go.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let's be fair here. So I'm gonna smudge it up. I'm gonna.
Wait, you know what? No, I think we're doing this wrong.
Yeah. No.
We have to make 2 smudges, and we have to see which cleans better.
Okay, fine, but how am I gonna make the smudges though?
Let me get something. Oh, here's some dirt. Oh no, that's just this stuff.
Yeah. You know, what about the hairspray?
No, that'll never come off. There's nothing that will take that off. Ketchup.
Sure. And the funny thing is that nobody can hear what you say because you're not mic'd up, by the way. Anyway, so ketchup. Let's see if it works better than the other leading brands. Okay. All right. So then what we have to do is,
let's smudge it first.
Of course.
Smudge the ketchup. So here's a little here and there. All right. So here's 2 separate smudges.
Okay. Cool.
Get some more sketch.
Mm-hmm. So we should take a video of it, and then say,
What cleans better, Kool-Aid or Windex?
Yeah. We should get the cameras out. Let me document this just for the purposes of I don't know, for promotional material that we never actually do. Oh, let me turn the flash off. Stupid. Flash off.
Okay. We have two smudges here. We have.
Oh, try to not do that, please. Think about all the lonely people watching this.
All right.
Father Mackenzie.
All right, we have 2 smudges. On the left is ketchup, and on the right is ketchup.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try to dip that in there and try a little. See how that cleans up the ketchup.
So we're trying the Jonestown Massacre and to see if it can actually clean up ketchup.
Actually, it's doing a pretty good job.
I'm saying it's pretty good. You see the blood from all the victims, and I think it's okay.
I think it did a pretty good job.
All right.
Now let's try the Windex.
Wouldn't it be funny if it didn't?
Yeah, the Windex. Actually, it's about the same.
I would say that the Windex is a bit cleaner.
Just a touch.
Well, maybe if you wipe it a little bit more. Oh, no, what? You're cheating.
Now the Windex is cleaner.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe I just need some more of this stuff. I'm not using it, just enough.
I think it's about equal. I think the Kool-Aid and the Windex, I think it's the same. Let me look.
Well, I mean...
It's glass. I think it's about the same.
I think the difference is I'd actually drink this. So...
And there's less sugar in this.
Yes. Yeah, this thing won't actually kill me.
Yeah, it's less poison.
All right, so I don't think I need to finish the rest of this.
Well, certainly not now. Not now that it's got ketchup in it.
Well, now it has actual real flavor. It's but it's not the kind of. now
Oh, look at sudsing, the chemical reaction.
Oh yeah. Here at Mr. Wizard, we are.
It smells better.
Oh
now.
wow! Smell that. That is.
Wow, that's something. It did do something. Now we can try seeing if it cleans the toilet. The mix gets all the stains out of the toilet. It gets the hard water stains.
If you have any weeds going in the back, this will just knock them out. Oh man, yeah. We just played with some food here.
If you're just tuning in, Windex and Kool-Aid clean exactly the same.
And they have about the same color. And so you give us some kids' food, and we start playing like kids.
That's right.
So it's
Tomorrow next week we can try the stuff from Oreos and spackle, and we can see which one dries faster and takes paint.
I'm going to try really hard to forget this when I leave, and hopefully the box will be gone by the time I come back. This one little thing right here was well worth $1.50.
I'll feed it to somebody.
The cat,
or maybe I'll get some trick-or-treaters. I've never had a trick-or-treater here ever. Now, in my entire time living here, I've never had a trick-or-treater.
Have you turned on the lights? And,
it's lit up outside. The path's lit up. The yard's lit up.
Well, they have the app, so they know where all the predators are.
Oh, I didn't know.
And just skip over the house.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, right. Everything's lit up. I've got candy. I've got the sign that says I'm not allowed to talk to children.
Right. Yeah. There's a camera, but I'm not allowed to watch it. All right. So let's see. So this is the insanity is about to be over of this 4-year election that we've had.
Oh.
I'm so done with it.
Tuesday, either the end of the Republican Party or the end of civilization.
I have had so many. Everywhere I go, it's like a reminder to vote. And there's no way to turn it off.
The money shot.
There's no, on Facebook or whatever it is, there's no, not only that, but I opened up my yogurt.
Yeah.
And the aluminum sort of seal on there said, vote November 3rd. Everywhere.
There's already been, in many states, there's been more people that have voted early than voted, period, in 2016.
Right. So it's in Texas.
And this is... usually it's about, I think it's 35% of people vote in the presidential election, of eligible voters. Mm-hmm. And this time it's going to be double that. It's still not going to be 100%. But the United States notoriously makes it difficult to vote, and this year even more difficult, and even more difficult to count the votes once they're cast.
Usually people talk about get out the vote, but this year it was real. That was a real effort.
Yeah.
About as real as I've ever seen.
And all the phone calls all day, every day. Don't forget to vote.
Not only that, but everywhere I drive, there seems to be places to vote everywhere.
Yeah, there's 130 or something in Los Angeles County?
I think there's 3 within a quarter mile of where I live. No, literally.
I voted already, but I was almost going to go to the Hollywood Bowl because you could vote at the Hollywood Bowl. Mm-hmm. And a friend of mine wanted to go to SoFi Stadium, except it's a half-hour drive, because he wanted to see SoFi Stadium.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but I would think it's SoFi. You must be voting in the parking lot. I wouldn't think you park and then have to walk all the way into the field to vote.
I hope so.
Yeah. Because I would do that if you get to see the field.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like places could do that now. Places that couldn't have opened up beforehand.
Yeah, and they don't. Nobody's charging for parking or anything. Yeah, but I used a drop box. Maybe they're taking voting at the Writers Guild.
I wonder if the Mormon Temple's taking votes.
Yeah,
That
they still shoot to kill if you come on the lawn.
That place in West. Yeah, you know what I've wanted to do for years and years is dress like a nice all in white, sort of formal picnic clothes.
Yeah.
And then take like a checkered picnic, a Weaves basket, some sandwiches, hop over the fence with some friends, and then have like some like non-alcoholic sort of like wine glass and some cheese. Just go out there and have a nice picnic.
Shot.
And
they don't have that. The Mormons is
the most formal picnic you can look at.
The Mormons is the only religious group that doesn't have any charitable arm or outreach or anything
That's
like that.
True.
They don't have any. They don't have any clothing drive. They don't have any feed. It is. Who else doesn't do it?
No, that's not true that the Mormons don't.
Oh, they don't have that.
That's not true.
They do not have that.
That's not true at
Yeah.
all. No, that's not true.
They have no clothing drive. They have no feed the hungry. They have no take the sick to work day. They have no, taking care of the homeless. They have no outreach at all. All of their charitable contributions are invested into money-making operations.
That's just false.
Oh, yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
No, that's false.
Oh, where did you hear that they...
Oh, no, like half my family's Mormon.
Oh, they don't.
Like
outreach.
I out of my extended family, like we're the Catholics, and everyone else is Mormon.
They're Mormon?
Oh, yeah.
Who converted?
I don't like. It was way up in the matriarchy, but because of that, I've had a lot of exposure to Mormons, and they certainly do charitable contributions.
No, I don't mean they don't personally do it.
The church
outreach.
absolutely does.
Really?
Absolutely.
I've always heard they have no outreach at all.
Well, okay, so what they do is they will help the downtrodden members of the church.
That's different.
Well, not really, because again, they're still helping people that are impoverished.
Well,
but it's people that are Mormon.
But if you, for all the other issues of the Catholic Church, if you wandered into any Catholic church, and whether you were homeless or hungry or couldn't find the entrance to the freeway, someone in a Catholic church would try to help you. If you were a drug addict, if I did it, if you did it, if anyone wandered into a Catholic church, you can't even get on the grounds of a Mormon. No one will come out.
No, that's not
true.
That's not true.
Well, they'll try to convert you.
No, that's not true.
Especially after you're dead.
That's not true, because there's different types of Mormon institutions, and like the temple over there in Westwood is a special one that you have to be like a full-fledged member for. Whereas there are other sort of much more modest ones where you wouldn't know it is because it looks like a normal building.
It's just the place where they convert Jews after their death. Where they
No. And that's where people go to have their weekly ceremonies. Yeah. And if you go to one of those places, and I've toured them when I was a kid and stuff like that, is that they have large kitchens where they prepare food for people. Yeah. They have a large sort of closets full of clothes that they're giving. Like a very large percentage of the actual building is for exactly what you're talking about, which is why I know it's bullshit. Now the recipients, sure, it's not just every homeless person, and yes, they have a very sort of rugged individualism, like you should help yourself kind of thing.
Yeah,
but also, they work through a number of organizations, and the organizations are, again, very sort of conservative, Boy Scouts of America, or
bankrupt.
Or other.
They own Boy Scouts now. The Mormons own the Boy Scouts.
But what I was about to say is, or other types of, very sort of socially conservative type charities. Like I think like the American Way or things like that. They also work with who are those anti-gay people that ring the bell?
The Salvation Army.
So they work with the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
So like they and not only
an anti-gay group, charitable.
Well, look, they're socially conservative, and the people, and again, this is family members, and I've had a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
And the people that I've met that are Mormon, they're very genuine, honest people, and
But the church doesn't feed the homeless or clothe the homeless, feed the hungry, heal the sick.
The chapters do.
Yeah. Well,
So the chapters of like the one that would be in Sherman Oaks or something like that, they would do that. But yes,
they don't in West LA.
Right. The Pope doesn't do anything.
The Pope at least talks about.
But
doing
what I'm saying is that
I can't believe I'm defending the Catholic Church.
But what I'm saying is that as an institution, the Catholic Church, like the Mormon Church, works kind of like a franchise, and that down near the bottom, that's where all the stuff happens.
Yeah.
And then at the top, it's mostly managerial and stuff like that.
Investments.
It's institutional to make sure that you perpetuate the organization. And that's not necessarily a terrible thing of how you want to run an organized religion, because you have to keep it organized somehow. And there's a lot of costs associated with it. And I'm not Mormon, and I don't really agree with a lot of those socially conservative causes. However, what you said was patently false, and so I had to correct you.
No, I don't. I'll stand by it.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. I think there's a lot of religions are structured in that way. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Judaism is a huge field, and I wouldn't be.
They don't have a hierarchy, though.
I understand, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are certain sects of Judaism where they don't help non-Jews. Even in Los Angeles, like certain temples.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to defend them either, particularly not the Hasids. But the Lubavitcher has the biggest drug rehab in Los Angeles, and there's without regard to anyone's religion.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying,
I can't believe I'm defending another.
But what I'm saying about that is that it is true to say that. When you have
the Jewish religion is also founded on charity.
It is true to it's true to say that when you have a membership of millions of people that have a diverse set of opinions and diverse sects, that they're not all the same.
No, well, that's true. I'm not saying that there's nobody in Mormonism that isn't charitable. I'm saying the organization doesn't have that. Every Jewish organization is founded on what's called tzedakah charity. Mm-hmm. So it's all about that. And
Sudoku?
Tzedakah, T-Z.
Is it like
Yeah, it's a very difficult puzzle. Yeah. But they don't have that foundation, the Mormons. Mm. If you want to give money, they're not against it, but they don't have, let's have a bazaar and sell your old clothes to raise money, except for them.
Yeah, they make sure that their families and the people that are involved in the church.
If you're part of the cult, you
do well.
But also they charge interest on the money they give the people even within the family. They charge. I don't mean brother and sister, or you have to.
Right,
I mean
but
the church's
arm what I'm saying
for
is
the
that
people that need money.
What I'm saying is that the church looks out for you, though.
They expect, yes, but it still becomes profit making. They expect money back with interest.
It depends on how much you can pay.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot. They try to make sure that you're not homeless, whereas there's probably a bunch of homeless Catholics and a bunch of homeless Jews and a bunch of And the Mormons are pretty good about that. Pretty good about making sure that that there's a minimum standard of living. That
if you join the cult,
they're kind of communist like that. Again, do I think it's? I don't know. I know a lot of. I should say, there are many respectable. People of high integrity that are Mormon. They exist.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But
and not only that, but there's a lot of them that keep it quiet. And you don't know because...
Unless you see the funny underwear.
Well, one of the things about the Mormons is that they don't really necessarily talk about it. They won't deny it. but you know,
Don't they go on their
for
crusade?
2 years when you're 17 or
Yeah.
whatever.
And
But then they go on and do.
Don't they go to cemeteries and convert people after they're dead?
No, I mean,
Yes.
not. I mean, maybe some of them do, but
Yeah.
but what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to point out is that you could be at a point where you'd be like, oh, I don't know, somebody you've never known, like I don't know, let's say Betty White, right? And then you're like, oh, she was Mormon, like you know, and you would never know,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I had no idea, like because they don't fucking talk about it because they think it's a you know, it's a relationship between them and God or whatever, right? And so like they don't wear it on their sleeve. Most of them don't.
The Jacksons.
So yeah, so there's a lot of
Oh wait, or were
Unlike-
they Jehovah's Witnesses?
they're Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, unlike a Jewish person who like has like, you know, they're dressed in nines, right? And you're like, oh, I can clearly see that.
The Cadillacs.
I mean, the same thing is that a lot of the Muslims are like that too. In Culver City, I was talking two weeks ago.
If not for the dynamite strapped to their chest, you would have no idea.
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I was talking to my friend about how there's a substantial number of Muslims in Culver City, but you wouldn't know until you started looking at it. And then you realize, oh, there's a bunch of halal restaurants. Oh, there's a couple Mormon temples around, Muslim temples around. And they go to their temple at like, I don't know, like on Fridays at prayer time. I think it's like 3 or 4 o'clock or whatever. And they walk down there. But since they don't dress different, you don't really know, right? And they don't like look distinctly different. They just look like an immigrant, right? And so they blend in really well, except, you know, if the women don't, but you don't see the men. Yeah, and so there's a lot of Muslims in Culver City, but most people don't realize that. So you know, yeah. So I don't know. There may be I think there's like some kind of maybe religious centers where I wouldn't have no idea that like that religion is part of it. Like, you know, I've heard Hollywood's Jewish, but I don't.
I've heard there's some Jewish entertainers.
Yeah, a few of them. Yeah. There's actually a country club right near me called the Griffith Country Club, and it was made in the 30s, I think, because at the time, most of the exclusive clubs in Los Angeles were Gentile only.
Yeah, that's why Hollywood Park existed, because they didn't let Jews into the racetrack.
Which is so strange, because like, exclusive Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they keep the Jews out? Yeah. Like, that just sounds so, that's just like, really? Like, is that how you make sure you can always find a seat? Like,
I have a slight answer to that. That up until the late 40s, maybe early 50s, as much as entertainers were famous and people wanted autographs and it was glamorous and they made a lot of money, it was still considered a fairly low-class profession.
Right, but you think about it, like all the names that come up, the Marx Brothers, the Three Stooges.
It was considered, it comes from the world of being jesters. And doesn't matter, I think the comparison would be like boxers.
Jack Benny.
But like
George Burns.
And 6 of the 7 studios.
Yeah.
But I think the comparison would be like boxers. If you said Mike Tyson, he makes, of course he lost it, but he made millions of dollars. People want his autograph. He's incredibly famous. People pay thousands to see him box. But do you want this guy living next to you? Do you want your daughter to marry him?
You know, I wonder why he was never like a falsetto singer, like Divine or Sylvester, right? Because he has this high-pitched voice, and I want
one of the 4 seasons.
Yeah, I want to see him in drag. You know, start singing like disco songs. I think it would be great.
But I think that's how people looked at the entertainment business. So that didn't make it any better that they were famous, because it was a job that people with dignity didn't take.
Okay.
So the fact that the Marx Brothers or Jack Benny or Sam Goldwyn were rich and famous, but they're in show business.
So you're saying that
Yeah.
if I had a very exclusive club here, Floyd Merriweather would not be welcome?
No, this is 2020 now.
Right.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
But I think that take it to, would your parents want their daughter to marry Floyd Merriweather? Would your parents want
not.
their daughter to marry a boxer? Would you want to
Or
be in the same?
heck, or any celebrity.
Would you want to take a hotel room down the hall from his hotel room?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you would. Would you want him to be your neighbor across the backyard? And I think that's how people.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him being my
entertainers then.
porter, I guess.
That would be fine. And so I think that's the level. Yes, he's famous. Yes, he's a millionaire. Yes, you want his autograph and you'll pay to see him. But then I want him to go home, and the home not to be near me.
That's why I think about Justin Bieber, actually.
Yeah, right. Well, I know. Still an entertainer.
Mm-hmm. I think that he has lost his mojo. I think he's done.
Well, isn't he like 50 now also? And he's got no space left to tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah, he just sort of exposed it. I mean,
I don't know what
he was
and he got married.
He did?
Yeah. Married Haley, what's her name?
I mean, it's weird because, when
he is literally
25 or so.
No, it's way more than that.
No.
He's got to be in his 30s.
No, he's not that much. No, because remember, he was popular when he was super young.
Yeah, he was 16, but you don't think that was 14 years ago?
Biber. Let me see. Oh, he's got a face tattoo now. No, he is 26. I said 25.
Wow.
Yeah, that was right.
Wow, I thought he was older.
That means he's going to die next year.
Well, then age hasn't.
No, it hasn't. But what
a lot of rock stars die at 27.
But what I'm saying is that, except for John Denver, is that when he was a teenager, he looked like a suave charmer, right? Like he didn't put off this white trash kind of feel at all. He looked like he might grow up and become
Pat Boone.
Yeah, like a
now he looks like
a decent
meth
ladies' man.
Addict. He looks like a meth addict.
Now he looks like what's a Leif Garrett, right?
Right. Remember what happened to him?
It's the same thing. That's what I'm saying. So let's do the background. Leif Garrett was basically this
teen
idol of the 70s, and it was basically like it's like a pedophile's dream.
He was the cover of Tiger Beat every
right, and so you have like a 14-year-old in like a Speedo, like that's what we're talking about here.
And then he had the feathered hair.
He had the feathered hair, right?
Very androgynous.
Yeah, and then he grew up to be basically this drunk bloke.
Yeah, and he killed someone in a car accident.
Right, through a terrible motorcycle accident.
Yeah, maybe it was a motorcycle accident. He killed someone, he went to jail.
And
he lost his hair, he's bald.
Right, and so if you think about like what those washed out rockers from the 70s looks like now, where they're like this is the backup drummer for Deep Purple. Yeah. Like, how you doing? Like that's what Leif Garrett is now.
And that's what Justin Bieber is headed for. I also don't know. I don't get the tattoos already, but covering your whole body with tattoos and then your face. What are you going to do? What's he going to do when even if he's still famous when he's 45 and he's got a
he looks like one of the indigenous Maoris from New Zealand.
Yeah. He's a native.
I don't know. I mean, I
don't know what.
I think that people that get those types of tattoos don't really envision living at 45. They don't see that.
Or 60, and and they're wrinkled and they got a tattoo on their face.
I once saw a woman. I'm trying to remember where it was. It was in Northern California somewhere, and she was like maybe 70 or something like that, and it was whatever, she had one of those this tops where, you know, it's all the way down here and whatever. And you saw the back of her, and she has some tattoos, but they looked fresh.
Oh, she just got them.
Like she just got them when she was like 73 or something. And I was like, well, wait, what a way to go. You know, because you're like, screw it.
At the home, they don't realize she's trailer trash. She got a late start.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like, that's the time when people are like, yeah, when you're like, oh, I only have 10 more years left. Like, might as well just go all out.
Right.
You know, why not just do something really crazy? Why not like color my hair blue? And
was it Justin Bieber that was caught peeing in a mop bucket? Was that Justin?
I have no
Bieber?
idea.
Yeah, I think that was him.
You think I follow celebrity stories?
Yeah. What?
You think I follow the celebrity stories?
Oh no, but it was on video, like it was a security camera.
Do you know, like, okay, so a child star that really sort of came out as a decent, sort of suave, sophisticated guy is the guy that played Harry Potter. What's his face?
Oh yeah.
What's his name? The British guy.
Yeah.
But
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe, yeah. Is that whenever he goes on, you're like, that's a decent human being.
Well, so is Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Ron Howard, probably.
Yeah. But, you know,
Yeah.
both of those people are still famous.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Daniel Radcliffe is still doing star stuff. He's still acting.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. He does much better movies now.
Yeah, but, you know, yeah, I don't... Or any of the... What is the... Who's the guy that played the Joker? What's his face?
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin Phoenix. He was a child star as well.
Well, not that big. I think he's a bigger star as an adult. I think he was a child actor. I don't think he was a child star.
Yeah, but some of them just become strange. Yeah. And so I think that that's the three trajectories. Is that they either become weirdos, like really weird, or they become trailer trash, or they become like really decent human beings. And if
the fewest are the really decent human beings.
Yeah, that's the smallest group. And if you think about like, so some of the ones that became like really weird are people like the guy that did Pirates. What's his face? Pirates of the Caribbean.
But he was a teen. He was,
right,
he
but
was a little older.
He was, but that was Nightmare on Elm Street. Johnny Depp, and he was like 16
but
at the time.
He wasn't. I don't think he was 16, but he wasn't.
He was young.
Like Harry Potter was 10. Ron Howard was 5.
Right.
Yeah, those guys were really children. Johnny Depp is a little weird.
But yeah, he's or who's the guy that did What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, that's Leonardo DiCaprio. Right,
he's strange.
He was on a TV show. He was on Growing Pains as a child.
Yeah, like that guy's weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas
but he's considered respectable and a good
a good actor, of course. Yeah. Whereas, like, I guess that, you know, decent human beings would be like...
Johnny Depp was in Gilbert Grape, too, so that's what confused me.
They both were. They both were.
Yeah.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Brothers, yeah.
So I guess that, like... but some of those people that were, like, really big stars, I don't think are really doing... Like the Malcolm in the Middle people. Are they doing stuff?
No, I think he's out of the business.
He's out of the business, right?
Yeah.
Or
Shirley Temple, dead.
Or... all of the people from Home Improvement.
Yeah, one of them was arrested last week. Speaking of not following celebrity, one of the brothers, well, the youngest one, the teen star, doesn't act anymore, right? Mm-hmm. What's his name?
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I don't think he acts.
No,
the middle one was arrested
he went to like
week.
Yale and like got a master's degree or something. Yeah, he's still like real sort of.
Yeah.
So I think he came out as a really decent human being.
Yeah, but he's out of the business.
He's out of the business, right?
Yeah. Because there are child stars that went to college and went to law school and then do whatever they're doing, because they didn't want to be child stars, their parents wanted them to be. I think it's the middle brother in Home Improvement was arrested last week for beating his girlfriend.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but also in like Oregon or something like that. It's not like it happened in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Oregon is a mix between trailer trash and like hipsters.
Yeah.
And some of them are trailer trash hipsters.
Yeah.
So let's see. So who else is kind of in this group of people that were child stars?
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Oh my God!
But they don't want to be famous anymore.
Right.
They just go about their lives. They have their $1 billion and they...
But what happened with them is they just became drug addicts.
No, I'm not sure that's true. I think they may have hung around with some, but I think they just
Well,
one of them married the.
Wasn't it
married,
true?
like-
Wasn't it true that when some
One of
famous celebrity got an overdose, the
Right,
first person
and the
they
first
called,
person they called was Mary Kate.
yeah,
It was when the original Joker. What was his name? The guy that played the Joker the first
right,
time. Right. What are we going to do? Let's call Mary Kate. She'll know what to do. And she wasn't even in the same city. They called her in Los Angeles. That is true. And that is the first call you want to make is to one of the Olsen twins.
Well, do you still have their numbers?
In case I, measure my fix wrong.
It's right here.
But I'd be better off with heroin.
New from Purdue.
Before you drink that, remember we sprayed some Windex.
I'm not
in
going to
it.
have it. Are you kidding? I don't want it beforehand.
I think they stopped wanting to be famous and they just stayed. One of them married the brother of the French president.
Macron?
One of them, who was the previous French president?
Oh, I don't remember.
She married the brother of him.
King Louis?
Yeah, that's what she married. She married King Louis. Didn't go well.
Okay, so yeah.
And the others smoke cigarettes all the time, and that's what they do.
True, yeah. And also, I think that some of them go on to become like directors and writers, don't they?
Yeah. Well, Ron Howard's a director really now, only.
But I'm trying to think of wasn't there a female child star that went on to become a very well-regarded director?
Jodie Foster.
Oh yeah, Jodie Foster. What's she doing now?
She does everything. She's an Oscar winner, and she directs movies, and she still acts.
Yeah, does she ever get back to Hinckley?
Yeah, she Facebook only. Just Facebook.
Yeah, I wonder, that maybe a smile comes across her face. She goes through her mail, and then she sees what is it? Something penitentiary or insane asylum. He said, "Oh, John."
Well, it's worse than that. They let him out. And they always find him wandering into gun shops or things.
He wrote it in blood again. How nice of him.
Always thinking of you.
Yeah, he wants to shoot Dianne Feinstein now.
Who else? There's a couple that became directors. I think that's right.
Yeah. Oh, so you want to do prognostication about the election? What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's over when Pennsylvania is called for Biden. I think that's it. And I think Trump will be in court for a month. And here's my but forget all of that. I think not right away, but before January 3rd when the new Senate takes over, Trump will fight in court, and he'll get some wins, and they'll throw out some ballots, but they don't want to riot. And here's my prediction, that somewhere, maybe January 1st or 2nd, he goes to Moscow. He gets on his own plane, and he moves to Moscow.
That is a very specific prediction.
Yeah. Well, here's my because otherwise, forget that he owes $800 million, and he will be foreclosed on.
Okay.
And that, he doesn't have those kind of assets. And forget all of the criminal charges and all of the sexual harassment charges. Forget all of the things. Oh, I think he will pardon his entire family and pardon himself. And then there'll be a question about whether that's legal, whether he can pardon himself. But he can't pardon himself for the state charges, the charges he has in New York and New Jersey and Florida.
Well, wait a second. Let's
California.
move on. So
then he'll go to the reason I think he'll go.
But I want to be okay. Next segment. So the Senate, do the Democrats take it back?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do they hold on to the House?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So in the big elections, do you see any upsets coming?
I think Lindsey Graham is finished.
You think that's a big one?
Mrs. Graham is out.
Yeah.
But I think here's why I think Trump can only go to Moscow. He can't go to any other country because no one else will have any use.
What about St. Petersburg?
No.
Vladivostok?
I don't think he can't even go to North Korea because they want the state secrets, but then they have no use for him. Only Putin will want to keep jabbing at the United States. We got your.
Vladivostok is like a couple blocks away from North Korea.
Yeah, he's not going there.
Right.
Moscow.
And so is it going to be roomies with Snowden?
No, they'll probably have separate rooms. Maybe they'll share the bathroom.
Yeah, I think he's just living his life now, just trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, and what's his name was kicked out of the embassy. What was his?
Well, Assange.
Assange,
but
because he wouldn't clean up after his cat or something?
No. It's because there was a coup in the country, in the embassy country, and then they put a new president in charge. That was the one that I talked to you about a couple weeks ago, where the CIA was involved, and they disclosed it. And then they just held elections 2 weeks ago, or something like that, where the original party that was kicked out won the re-election by like a 20 margin victory. It's gigantic. And so they, because basically the previous president had to get on a plane and fly off to like Argentina or whatever. And then his successor, and then like, where's the damn elections you promised to have? And they put it off, and finally had it. And they tried to, manipulate the votes as much as possible, doing all of the dirty tricks, everything, and this is Central America, so you can pull off a lot more crap. And the socialists, the left-leaning party, still won by giant victory. And at that point, then a bunch of them just packed up and got on planes and left. And this happened like a week ago.
And they don't want Assange back, I'm sure.
Well, they don't have the option now because of, maybe they could, but I don't think so. Again, I think that the problem with Assange is that the things that he leaked are the actual crimes. But we're charging the person who brought the truth forward, which is so bad for just a president of journalism. Is that, it's this ridiculous thing where I'm like, I'm exposing all these crimes and I go to jail. Like, it's just
There's
wild.
whistleblower protection in this country, but not from the CIA.
Right.
Yeah.
But whether you agree or disagree with him or anything like that, like he broke some pretty major stories about with Chelsea Manning, right? That was his big thing. And then that led to the Abu Ghraib, which is a huge thing, right? All these sort of terrible war crimes that happened. And that was Snowden. Oh, sorry, it was Julian Assange that did it with WikiLeaks. And so that's some legit journalism. That is, if he was working for the Washington Post when he did that, he would have gotten a Pulitzer.
Yeah, if he was in the United States protected.
Right.
But he's not in the United States. Yeah.
But he was working for this outside organization.
The CIA goes
and that's the thing. Like, if you do some really great journalism, but your employer is Al Jazeera or Russia Today, then people will think you're a criminal. But if you did the exact same thing and you work for New York Times, then you get accolades, you're on a bestseller list, get all these awards. It's just so absurd. It's a double standard, and people don't assess things based on the content. It's based on your associations. It's just disgusting. Because I'm associated with criminals.
I think we're out of time.
No, we're 53. That's 53 minutes, buddy. You got like 4 or 5 minutes.
We got 4 or 5
and this is the last episode before the world ends.
Oh, that's right.
So
or starts again.
Right. And so we're going to be in a pile of ashes next week. So it's going to be interesting.
There will be. Well, everything's all over Los Angeles. Things are boarded up because there'll either be a Lakers-like celebration where people are so happy they turn over cars and light them on fire, or there'll be a civil war.
Right, and so basically, when you're happy, you turn a car over clockwise, and unhappy is counterclockwise. So you know which one to block. So did you know that with Amy Coney Bryant, or whatever this person's name is, this makes it so that the Supreme Court now has 3 attorneys that worked for Bush during the Bush Gore.
Yeah, right, that did the work to try to overturn Florida to give it to George Bush. They also have, the Supreme Court is also, 5 of the judges are chosen by presidents that did not win the popular vote.
But I would think that if you had worked on a
specifically
no,
political.
Yeah, a political campaign like that should disqualify you from the office.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying, regardless of who it is, but if you're defending a politician or something like that, like, and that way, at any point, then you can't really say. And
they're all.
Yeah, it should just,
I know.
because there's certain limitations on what engineers can do, or doctors, or anything else, right?
Non-compete clauses.
and these are very important people that have very important jobs, and we should have very high standards for them.
That's why I'm all for packing the court.
Oh, I think that we should just bring back, just assassinations.
Oh, well, there's that.
Yeah.
Duels, maybe duels. Hanging.
I mean, I think that it would be simply charming if I found out that, like, Congress people and stuff just got murdered, like some kind of third world country left around. Because I think that, it would instill the fear of God into them. So when they decide, should I vote for this?
This is a warning for the next guy.
Right. Like, oh, am I going to vote to screw over these people? Well, I don't want to get shot. Yeah. Like, I think that they're too protected, and that there needs to be, like that's what happened after the French Revolution. Is all you have to do is lop a few heads off, and then all of a sudden things start to change. So maybe a couple ceremonial ones. I mean, we could do like one of each side. We could maybe have Maxine Waters. I don't like her that much. She's old. We can kill her. And then maybe on maybe some really old right winger. I mean, is Strom Thurmond still alive? We could maybe just do that.
McConnell. But he's rotting away, so that's a waste of a bullet.
Right.
What is with the rotting hands and face?
Well, I think that it's a really
molting,
poorly built human suit from the alien place that he's coming from. And it's the same manufacturer that builds Trump's human suits.
He's just rotting.
Yeah.
Pieces of him are going to start to fall off.
I mean, maybe what I want to do is I want to actually take him with me on a boating trip to his beach house, and he's going to be in between you and I, and then we'll have a weekend together with him.
Yeah.
At a weekend at Bernie's. I don't know
right. We'll prop him up.
We'll
take him to that.
I can't. I think it's so funny that they made a sequel to that.
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's too.
Yeah,
with different guys.
If it wasn't absurd enough the first time,
he should have been the plot of it.
Anyway. Okay, now we're at 57. So it's been fun to have you on again.
Lovely. We'll do it again after the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's true.